The scariest Christmas. Christmas is one of the most comfortable and charming holiday which is usually celebrated in the closest circle. Although, on some occasions, things happen that people do not expect. This time, the family of Robins won't carry out this captivating holiday together. Lizzie's and Fred's parents are going for urgent business trip. Lizzie is older than her brother, that's why we'll look after for Fred. Now the family of Robins having a dinner before Mr. and Mrs. Robins leaving. Darling, would you be so kind as to look after Fred during the Christmas night? Are you going somewhere? Asked Lizzie, not understanding her parents.